All right, class, another day, another lesson. Let's move into lesson 2 of chapter 16. It's called Product of Powers. Let's look at our key ideas. Very important here. We have a bunch of properties that we're going to learn here and some rules that you need to understand and remember. So if we have product of powers, product, think multiplying powers together. So to multiply powers with the same base, we're going to add their exponents together. So if you notice in my example to the right, written in blue, we have 4 squared times 4 to the third. They have the same base, which is 4. So now in order to combine these and actually multiply these powers together, we're going to add their powers to combine the terms. So I would write this as you keep your base, so our base is 4, but now we add our 2 and our 3 together. So we'd get 4 to the 5th power. So in the algebra form, these have the same base. Whatever their power is, you would add them together to get your final answer. Next, power of a power. To find power of a power, we multiply the exponents. So when you have a power like 4 to the 6th, being then raised to another power, we end up multiplying those together. So I would keep my base, but now multiply 6 times 3 to get 4 to the power of 18. So whenever it's raised power to a power, we multiply to get our answer. Last one, power of a product. To find power of a product, find power of each factor and multiply. So basically, if you have, like my example here, 3 times 2 being then raised to the power of 5, it's almost like you're distributing that 5 to each term. So I'm going to have 3 raised to the 5th power times 2 raised to the 5th power. Now those are different bases. We cannot combine them any further. So this is our answer here. So it's like you're distributing. You're going to give each base that common power that it's being raised to. All right, let's do some examples here. Multiply powers with the same base. So I have 2 to the 4th times 2 to the 5th. They have the same base. This is product of powers, which means we're just going to add those powers together. 4 plus 5 gives us 9, so it's 2 to the 9th power. Negative 5 times negative 5 to the 6th. Now think, a number that stands alone, it really does have a power. Think about what that power is. It's actually a power of 1, right? It's that number that we don't always have to write, but it's there. So if I have these being multiplied, the base is the same. So I'm going to keep that base, but now I'm going to add my exponents. So 1 plus 6 gives us 7. And our last one, we have that same base, so keep your base, product of our powers. So we're just adding our powers together. 3 plus 7 gives us 10. You're basically figuring out how many total of the base do you have. You're adding them together. Let's look at example 2, finding a power of a power. Remember, when you're raising that power to another power, you multiply them. Power to a power, think multiply. So I'm going to keep my base, and then 3 times 4 gives me 12. Part B, keep your base, power to a power, we multiply, so I get W to the 20th power. Last example, finding a power of a product. It's like we distribute, we give that power to each term inside your parentheses. So I'll have 2 to the 3rd times X to the 3rd. You can evaluate it further. Whenever you can evaluate these, you can. So like 2 times 2 times 2, or 2 to the 3rd power would give us 8x cubed. Now let's do the same thing for part B. Give it to every single term inside. So 3 squared, x squared, y squared. And if you want to evaluate the 3 squared, that gives you 9, x squared, y squared. So there we go. That's it. Those are our examples on this first page. Let's continue our lesson. Continues on another page. What I would like you to do is right now, your turn to try A through F. So pause the video, try it out, come back when you're ready. All right, let's go over these. You should notice our first example A, we have our product of powers. Keep that same base. Since these are being multiplied, we really just add our powers together. So 2 plus 4 gives us 6. Next one, we have power of a power. So power to a power, we multiply. So it should be 4 to the 12th. Next one, we have a power of a product. So you should be giving that power to each term. So 5 to the 4th times y to the 4th. Maybe you did 5 to the 4th. You did 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. We'll give you 625 y to the 4th. Next one, we have that same base being multiplied. So we have product of powers. Keep your same base. Add your powers together. 3 plus 6 gives us 9. E, we're distributing that 5 to each term. So a to the 5th, b to the 5th. And last one, F, we have a power to a power. So our common base is -4, and we have 3 being raised to the second power. So multiply those together, you get 6. That's it. That's all those examples. Double check yourself, fix what you need to. Again, example 4 is a little extensive to do through a video, so I'm not going to do that. Again, I'll post my notes later in the chapter. You'll get to look at that. You can try this out if you want to, but you don't need to necessarily know how to do that on your own at this time. But I will show you my work and the answer if you're curious and try it out.